Well, this afternoon, I sat down with Roby Brock with our partners at Talk Business and Politics, who says we're only seeing half of April's jobless claims. All right, Roby, let's talk about these numbers. 20.5 million filing for unemployment in April. They were expecting 21.5 million, so may not be as bad as you think, but is it as bad as you think?
I actually think that it may be worse than we think, Darren, and here's why. This is billed as the April's job report here for unemployment, and we're basically getting only 2 weeks of April in this whole measurement here. So the survey that goes out to employers that allows us to make some of these assumptions for this 14.5% unemployment rate is really just for the first 2 weeks in April. So we don't have the full April picture yet. We'll get that in the May report that comes out. But we have seen over the last couple of, when we look at the weekly unemployment claims, we've seen definitely that there are more layoffs coming. So I think this number is a little bit low right now, and I think it's going to get a little bit bigger before we see it top off.
You're not surprised by this amount, given what has happened over the last 5 or 6 weeks?
No. Think about this. 2 months ago, Darren, we had the lowest unemployment rate in the United States in 50 years. Today, we have the highest unemployment rate in 80 years. That is how dramatic this has swung. We have seen, when you look at any of those bar graphs that put out the unemployment claims on a weekly basis, and you may recall I think it was the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, their front page picture on that, just to show how dramatically they had gone up in 1 week's time. We knew these numbers were coming. We knew they were going to be bad. And like I said, I don't think we've seen the top of the peak yet. I think we're still climbing the mountain.
Given 2007, 2008, that was a rough time. A lot of job growth since then. That's been all wiped out in one single month. How does this country bounce back from this?
Yeah, look, I know that there's a lot of optimism and a lot of hope that, that once we reopen the economy, we'll see these numbers rebound very quickly. I think there'll be some rebound of these numbers. But it is not going to be a full recovery, and it's not going to be quick. It's going to take a long time for us to limp back into full recovery mode for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't think consumer confidence is there yet. You still hear from a lot of people, although this is anecdotal, that they're just not comfortable going out and spending money at different establishments. And I think you've got business owners that are worried about liability and are worried about, can I provide a safe environment for customers and for employees? And they're going to be very cautious about getting back into the full swing of things. I'm hearing that from everybody in the restaurant and tourism industry to retailers. So I think that we still have a lot of people. It's not going to be a quick snap back into what used to be normal. Plus, we've learned a lot in this pandemic, and there are a lot of people that have changed their business models to adapt and have found some success with it. And that might eventually wind up not needing as many employees as they once had in a physical location. Plus, we're moving into the summer months anyway, which tend to be a little bit of a lull for a lot of folks. The kids are out of school, and so it kind of changes the whole normal work environment for a lot of folks. And because people have been adapting to their kids, educating at home for the most part, again, I just think that this disruption that we're seeing is just not going to quickly correct itself. Everybody's just not going to say, okay, well, it's fine going back and just do things like we used to do. We still don't have a cure or a vaccine for this virus. And until that happens, I think that that's going to be one of the main obstacles to keeping everybody from feeling confident enough to go back to their business as usual, their normal routines.
All right. Roby Brock from Talk Business and Politics joining us this afternoon. Thanks for being here.
You bet.